So today My Hero Academia has officially come to an end after 10 years. And before I get into my thoughts about the ending and just my overall thoughts about a show that I loved like My Hero Academia come to an end, first things first, I want to say congratulations to Horikoshi for completion of his series. I know he initially, around the time he started, didn't think that it would get that far, but My Hero Academia did turn into a worldwide phenomenon that all of us enjoyed for the most part. Despite its flaws, everything has ups and downs. But it was a very important series and I really am sad to see it go. It's definitely an end of an era. And when this anime initially released from season 1 to season 2, I was doing stuff like reviews and little breakdown videos. And this was really early in my YouTube career. I didn't really understand what was going on. I was even doing like breakdowns and predictions through the previews, all sorts of stuff. Pretty embarrassing now looking back on it. But from the Smash Tap days to the One's Justice days, Smash Rising, even though we don't really talk about that game anymore, My Hero Academia has had a big impact on me, not only just me as a person, because I've definitely taken away a lot of positives from his characters, especially Midoriya Izuku, our protagonist. I feel like he's a very inspirational character, and the initial introduction of him being a quirkless boy, looking up to All Might and wanting to become the #1 hero, and the actions he took to actually make that happen, always remind me to never give up, as cliche as it sounds. And I definitely feel like My Hero Academia was a new Dragon Ball for me, because Dragon Ball was definitely something when I was really young that was just there. It was like, Dragon Ball was Dragon Ball. It was everything. I wasn't really watching all these other shows. I was too young to. It was like whatever's on Jetix, whatever's on Cartoon Network, whatever, I was watching those. But Dragon Ball was the first one I was really in tune with. But as I got older, and you get more conscious of the world, My Hero Academia was the one around my teens that really carried me till now. And it's just going to be sad seeing it go. I made a lot of friends from his communities. I definitely did in the past dive a bit too deep into the fandom. Like, this might be one of the last videos I ever make on this series. I really doubt it, but just in case it is, I have to take a small dig at the fandom. The fandom was messy, but there was also good people in there. There was loads of good discussions, loads of good theory crafting. I met a lot of good people, so I'm definitely grateful for that as well. And again, today's just really bittersweet, but with the ending of My Hero Academia, I don't really have too many complaints at all. I know a lot of people are spreading misinformation right now, going on agendas over the leaks and everything, and just the mistranslations and everything that happened within the last few days, because the chapter does officially release today on Sunday, well, my time Sunday. So everything that's happened before, you can kind of take with a grain of salt. But for the main premise, after the final battle, we know that Deku did return to school with his classmates, and eventually the time did come where the embers of One For All ran out. So Deku was effectively quirkless, which was kind of sad to see. I'm not too angry about it because of the ending, like the proper ending, that the last few panels and stuff like that. But if Deku would have remained purely quirkless and didn't get like another chance of being a hero, I think that would have been kind of sad, because he's definitely done a lot. And I can't remember exactly what chapter it was. I'd have to go back to remember the exact chapter, but the chapter where Deku was willing to give up One For All, I think it was the second user who was telling him that he needs to give up the quirk. That panel, that was a flashback to the first time when All Might said Deku can be a hero. That one's just like burnt in my head, because Deku was willing to give up everything, the gift that was given to him by the person he holds most dearest in his heart, besides his mother, of course, which is All Might. And he was willing to do it immediately. He was willing to give up everything that made him who he is in that point in time. He was willing to give up his dream of being a hero to defeat Shigaraki. And it's just that selflessness that Deku has in comparison to the rest of the cast. I feel that always really shows the true essence of being a hero. And now seeing that being applied to society as a whole, or at least that's the type of steps they're trying to take, it's kind of nice to see. But Horikoshi did leave a lot up to interpretation in regards to the ending. I don't know, maybe we're going to get a sequel in future. I don't know how I'd feel about it. I do believe that Horikoshi could do a good sequel regardless, but I can't really piece together any speculation of how he would go about it. So I'm just going to say, if one happens, cool. If one doesn't happen, I'm also happy with the ending. But as I was saying, Deku returned to school and he lost the embers of One For All. And within an 8-year time skip after they graduated, Deku was teaching at UA. We saw this new student called Dai, who was actually shown previously at the All Might statue many chapters ago, attending UA. There's loads of stuff going in, loads of characters from Kota to Eri. We got loads of mini perspectives on different characters. But for the most part, I just want to focus on Deku here. And he was focusing on giving people dreams the same way All Might gave him a dream, which is very nice to see, because he hasn't given up on the idea on heroism just because he doesn't have a quirk, which is what made him viable to be a hero in the first place. He was more qualified than anyone, even though he didn't have a quirk. He was the timid, quirkless young boy who moved without thinking that spurred All Might to act. And that's how he was even qualified to get One For All in the first place. So again, seeing Deku try to move positively after having all this happen to him, it was very nice to see. He's a very resilient character, which still hasn't changed to this day. But I guess the biggest takeaway from the chapter was the ending. Obviously, after they kind of pump faked us with the My Hero Academia ending, and All Might kind of makes his entrance and then gives Deku this brand new suit, which was funded by his classmates, which was really cool to see, because obviously they had the data from when All Might fought against All For One, and now they've replicated the suit, I guess, or they've made better enhancements with the increase in technology and just the movement forward in time from 8 years. There's a collaboration with David Shield and Hasame May being funded by the Class 1A students, with Bakugo putting forward most of the money, which was definitely a nice touch because, you know, he wants his rival to be back in the scene. And we end the chapter with Class 1A all out in their hero suits, all being heroes together again, with Deku wearing his brand new suit, and, you know, he's just getting to live the dream again, which was definitely nice to see. But, you know, as I was saying, I definitely thought it was a very good chapter, but yeah, man, My Hero Academia is officially done, and it's definitely sad, you know. It's definitely sad. I have a lot to say about this series. This is like kind of my initial thoughts. I didn't want to go too in deep on it because realistically, I'll probably try and find more time to have a go over this series as a whole, whether I want to cover every single aspect again with explained videos or breakdowns or whatever, just covering the whole of My Hero Academia. I still need to decide on that because I'm kind of pressed for time right now. But if you guys want to see that, if we get like 100 likes, I'll consider doing that as soon as possible. I'll try like get into the groove of that, see if we can make it like a weekly thing. Let me know. But yeah, this video was just for me to give my initial thoughts on it and just say how much I'm going to miss this series, because again, I met a lot of cool people through this series, a lot of people who subscribe to me, a lot of people who subscribe to me now wouldn't even know how much My Hero Academia content I posted because most of it is actually private. But a lot of day ones, people have been here for the last like 6 years, maybe even the rare one person who's here from my old channel when I was doing season 1 reviews and stuff like that. You'll know My Hero Academia is an integral part of this channel, and all I can say is thank you and goodbye, because I'm definitely going to miss it. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.